Haha, let's get this party started.
High def with the professional.
Greasy says.
Hello, hello, hello. And welcome back to Greasy Says. If it's your first time, welcome. If you're returning, thank you for you. You've made my day by coming back to listen to me curse into a microphone once again. It's my pleasure. Believe me, it's my pleasure. My name is Greasy, aka MQ. On Greasy Says, I give you my take on the gaming industry. I've been working in the gaming industry in a myriad of roles for 15 years. So I've seen quite a bit. And I've seen a heaping pile of smelly turds throughout the industry. And I'm gonna try to talk about that stuff, and we're also gonna have fun and explore how we can make this industry better for everyone involved, but particularly for brown folks and non-white folks out there. That's what I know. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Real quick, before we start this episode, thank you to everyone who's been listening, by the way. Did I say that already? Thank you. It's great. It makes me so happy. Keep them coming. Tell your friends. Share that shit on social media. And also follow me on social media. I'll tell you where. It's Greasy Says on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me as MQ, M-CUE on Spotify, Bandcamp, and SoundCloud, and on Twitter, actually. So hit me up. Ask me questions on there. Give me feedback about the show on there. Check out the promos I do for the show on there if you want. Social media. I never liked it before, but I gotta use it because everyone else is using it. And I'm still stuck in group texts. So, I'm fucked. So I might as well just embrace it, okay? So we'll pick a key, right? And then let's talk about what it's like to pitch a game. Maybe you're gonna pitch a game, or you thought about pitching a game, or you have ideas and you're trying to pitch it to people on your team or whatever. Everybody's gotta pitch some shit. So what's involved?
Okay, so can I say what key it is today? Because today's key is
Today's key is brought to you by my boy Jeff over at Asm Sounds on Instagram. He wanted a whole tone scale.
So I'll give y'all a whole tone scale.
Who's got a question?
what's it like to pitch a game?
Pitching a game is both exhilarating and super fucking boring at the same time. Imagine going on a speed date with a person who is super aloof, rich as shit, is seeing a bunch of other people, and is already married with kids at home. Pitching a game can go from feeling like a champ, controlling the ring, throwing perfect combos, dodging jabs and hooks, setting the pace of the match, throwing in a Shoryuken every now and again. But it can quickly go to the equivalent of waiting on a bus in Florida with your racist grandmother. Let me break down how things tend to flow when pitching a game. It actually starts back in the office or your favorite PowerPoint application, creating a deck for your presentation. And if you're about that life, rehearsing what you're gonna say at the presentation so you don't turn into a bundle of nerves when it's showtime. I can't stress enough the importance of rehearsals. As a performer, I'm used to having to practice and shed before a show. And pitching a game is just like stepping out on stage. You don't prepare, your ass is gonna faint like the Indian kid in a spelling bee, straight up. When you pitch a game, your deck, your presentation, should be helping you perform. It shouldn't replace your performance. If you're just reading the slides from your presentation verbatim and staring ahead at the screen, droning on like a substitute math teacher, your date, the potential publisher, will start spacing out, thinking about the next piece of ass waiting in the wings. Keep them engaged, keep things conversational, and most importantly, get them involved. Just like a date, you gotta ask the other person what they're into, what turns them on or off. What are their wants and needs? But like a date, you gotta be subtle with it. Not just like,
Do you like long walks?
or
I'm looking for a commitment.
right out the gate, you're gonna scare them off. Stay frosty. So once you've prepped, rehearsed, and gotten feedback from other executives, or just other folks, who will rip your presentation to shreds, by the way, like down to the words you use. Just grit your teeth, smile, and keep it moving. It's not about you. You fly out to wherever, or schedule your fucking Zoom call or whatever, to meet with a potential publisher. Or more likely, a group of publishers who you're gonna pitch to. So this is it, right? Pitching can be a marathon. I've been on pitch sessions that last all day, over multiple days, dog, where you're pitching to 5 different groups over the course of one day. All manner of fuckery can happen during this time. People cancel last minute, reschedule 5 minutes before showing up, change locations, change who's coming to the meeting, show up 30 minutes late and shit. Borderline disrespectful shit. Some Frederick shit. And y'all say creative types are unreliable? Executives are unreliable and unapologetic about that shit. But they expect us to be better. Fucking lol, bruh. So when you finally get all these fucks in the same room, it's showtime. Stay cool, stay calm, stay collected. It's your world right now. Time to shine. Keep it light, keep it conversational. Talk about your game like it's a fetus, capable of anything, formless, malleable, and full of potential. Don't cling too tightly to your assumptions. And very important, don't oversell your ideas. This thing isn't real yet. It's just an idea. You don't actually know if it'll work. So don't get swept up in your own hype. Feel me? You can usually tell if people are excited about your idea. But yo, real talk, excitement does not mean investment. I've been in pitches where the room energy is vibrant, people are bouncing ideas around, lots of conversation. BO starting to kick because folks starting to sweat and shit. But then you never hear from them folks again. Or you follow up and they're not interested. The excitement in the room is fun, but do not get gassed. And that brings me to a very real truth about pitching games. Disappointment. I really, really hope I put a sad sound effect here. Most game pitches don't get picked up. Most game pitches end in disappointment. I've pitched the same game for 2 years straight. Sometimes even to the same motherfuckers without it being picked up. If your idea or game is rejected, it sucks, okay? It's like being dumped or friend zoned.
You in the friend zone.
It leaves a hole in your chest.
A hole in your chest.
At least until you get thick skin. But I'll tell you, even if you have skin like the bark of a fucking tree, rejection always manages to penetrate that armor. But stay up, my friend. There's always tomorrow. And every failed pitch is a practiced pitch. And every rejected idea is an idea you could just take somewhere else.
Reflections.
Yeah, I've pitched. Not really glamorous. Not a glamorous experience. Usually you're fucking sitting in a hotel room, sweating your balls off in some fly shit because you know you gotta look fly. It's like an interview. You gotta look good to these potential suitors. You ain't going on a date looking like no fucking scrub. Put your hoodie away, unless it's a dope-ass hoodie. I mean, you know what? Dope-ass hoodie and dope-ass shoes, bare minimum. But yeah, it's not a glamorous thing pitching games. Stay hydrated, just like when you smoke weed, stay hydrated because you're going to be running your yap a lot, answering a lot of questions and stuff. If you're a sweater, walk with a towel. There's no shame in walking with a towel, okay? Or at least a fucking hanky or something. Wipe that sweat off your brow so you ain't dripping when you pitching. You dig? And, nerves are a thing. So don't be afraid to slow down. You setting the pace, right? I see this all the time. Even on like GDC talks or a really like a guy who was on my team, fantastic guy, sweet guy, hilarious. But when he would start talking about his ideas and he would get nervous, he would start rushing. Like GDC talks, people who give talks do this too. They fly through their stuff. They don't take the time to kind of breathe and let their points sit. You know what I mean? So don't rush. Don't rush. These motherfuckers gonna bounce when they had to bounce, right? If they're really interested in your idea, they're gonna stick around. If they're not, they're gonna leave, whether you speed through or not. So make this shit at least bearable to listen to. Because guess what? These publishers are hearing a million other fucking pitches. Okay? Your shit to them is not special. So they really are, critiquing you. Not so much the game you're making. The game, yes, to a degree. But like, how are you making this game feel? How are you making this game sound? Bars, son. You gotta be spitting bars out there.
I just got a check. I ain't even cash it. Got the money clipped. I ain't even flash
Now, if you're a brown guy or a brown woman, even worse, Jesus Christ, you're gonna run into all the same challenges you do when you try to get white folks to listen to you, or more importantly, white men with money who are gonna invest in something you are putting forward to listen, right? And you will, like, people will zone out. People will, it's quite likely that some folks are going to be like thinking, is this person even worth my fucking time? And they're going to feel that you're going to feel that even more with all of that unspoken, subtle racist shit that is going on out there when people see a black face and they're like, this person doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And real talk, recently for me, I've seen more and more women that I'm pitching to. More and more women in the publishing sector, more and more women in executive positions who are going to greenlight a game. In most of my experiences, the women that I've interacted with and pitched to have always been more engaged and have always been more respectful, subtly respectful, right? To me, as a brown guy, pitching to them. Now, on the other hand, I have run into plenty of white dudes, usually older white dudes, who immediately walk in the room and you can see they've passed judgment with their eyes. Immediately. You can just feel it. And if you brown, you know what that fucking feels like. But again, it's another barrier we have to break through. So, all right, let me tell you a fucking. These guys who you pitch games to, these publishers or executives or whatever, they're not fucking God, okay? These guys are just fucking people, okay? Humanize the fuck out of these people. Most of them actually don't even fucking know that much about games. Real fucking talk. They looking for what's gonna make money, what's gonna create buzz. They don't give a fuck about mechanics. They don't give a fuck about how you trying to push games forward and make this shit more accessible to everyone and you trying to be woke and all this shit. They don't give a fuck about that. Maybe it's changing. The more younger, the more brown, black, non-white, gender fluid, transgender people get into those positions, that will change. But for right now and in like the last fucking however many years that game's been around, these are the kind of people you're going to be dealing with when you're pitching games. But yo, I once, okay, was in a pitch. I feel like I got to whisper this shit. Fuck that. I don't have to whisper nothing. The motherfucker was there. It was a group of three executives. Maybe there was a couple of like tech people there from that company. I'm pitching to this dude. One of the dudes. This is a like major fucking company, like top 3 companies in the world, I'm saying, right? The dude stops me in the middle of the presentation, cuts me off to talk about shit that they're interested in. I mean, at the time, I was kind of like, whoa, that was weird. You know what I mean? That seemed kind of rude, bruh. You're just going to cut me off. But he was trying to save time. I respect that. I would actually prefer someone to cut me off and be like, yo, listen, honestly, this idea is nice and everything, but I'm not interested. What can you do with this idea to bring it into what I am interested in? Because he was being real. It's like the shit you showing me doesn't interest me and my company's interests. So can you switch it up to fit my model? That's cool. Catch me off guard, but that's cool. Now, the other guy he was with, the fucking jackassery that he had surrounded himself with. Dog, I am giving the presentation. It hasn't been that long, and I haven't been droning. I made sure I wasn't droning. The motherfucker fell asleep on the couch, less than 4 feet from me, like less than COVID distance from me, man. Fell asleep during, you are a high level fucking person at this company. Like I said, top 3 company in the world. I'm giving you a presentation and you drop asleep. And he slept. The rest, he was out. He was vibing. He was getting beauty sleep. Wrinkles was disappearing and shit on this motherfucker. Letting out little sly farts and whatnot. In the middle of my shit. That is unforgivable. Unfor-fucking-givable. Show me some fucking respect, because I'm showing you respect. If anybody ever drop asleep in your fucking presentation, take your shoe off and just smash that motherfucker. Just with your shoe. It's not going to be that bad. Once you're not wearing no big combat boots, steel toe. Don't wear no steel toe boots. Shouldn't be wearing steel toe boots to a pitch anyway. But bust that motherfucker with your sandal.
Come here, motherfucker.
If you want.
Come here.
Just real quick.
Come
Wake
here.
him up. Utter disrespect, yo.
I'm gonna fuck where you come from. Come here.
I'm trying to pitch. You sleeping. You sleep. You know, I know I said earlier that, like, you should always, wear shoes and socks and shit because of your funky ass feet. But there's a reason to fucking walk around wearing sandals. Just so you can take them off and smash some just blaze up some White Run, motherfucker. For real. Anyway, let's talk about what I've been playing recently. I figure I'm going to make this like a regular segment on the show. So I made a little jingle for it. Y'all ready for this shit? It's smooth. Check it out.
What you play, what you play, what you play,
What you playing?
what are you playing?
What you playing?
It's sexy, isn't it? God damn. So, me and 2 of the homies, I've been playing the game that everyone in the whole fucking world has been playing. Up to 6 million people have bought this game. Valheim. Not gonna lie to you, I was mispronouncing that shit, and I actually trained my buddies to mispronounce that shit by mistake. Now we all call it Valheim, which is totally fucking wrong. It's called Valheim, right? Because it's Nordic and Finnish and whatnot, right? Go look up Valheim. I almost called it Valheim. Go look it up. It's basically Minecraft with Vikings, but that is a terrible oversimplification. It has some crazy good building mechanics. The combat is clunky but fun, but it's just a joy to play, relaxing, and it's really fun to play with friends because you can help each other build these incredible fucking houses. I mean, really, it's like The Sims meets Minecraft. But I mean, I could go into like what makes this game great, but who gives a fuck? Go listen to fucking IGN or go listen to fucking Kotaku or some other fucking journalist talk about how great the game is and why they like all the building mechanics and blah, blah, blah. What I want to talk about,
What you want to talk about?
what I want to fucking talk about
What the fuck you want to talk about, man?
is the giant shit.
Huh?
The fuck do you mean?
Let me back it up. Let's say you're this guy.
Hey,
You start a game company.
all right.
You're working on your little game by yourself, killing yourself day in and day out. No end in sight. You're doing it for the passion. You're doing it because you love to make. You've always wanted to make your own game. You work so hard on it. You put it out to the public, early access. Then the game sells 6 million copies. I would immediately take some of that 6 million money and buy another bathroom because I would shit myself. I would shit myself if that many people bought a game that I was working on that wasn't even finished yet. That would stress me out so much. I would lose weight. I would become a husk of my former self just out of stress of trying to appease and impress and deliver to 6 million jackasses with money who paid me because they believe in my project. I know, it's weird, right? It's weird. You would think you'd be ecstatic because your game hit. But I've done a lot of games, and I gotta tell you, when a lot of people are paying attention, the pressure goes way the fuck up, man. Why you think LeBron going bald? You think that shit is a hereditary? Nah, man. It's fucking stress. Stress. When you have to deliver to that many people and that many people have their eyes on you and you have to listen to all of these customers and you're just one guy who suddenly has to expand his team, his or her team, right? But in this case, he's a guy, right? I'm not trying to place anybody in any roles here. But this guy has to pivot. Now he has a behemoth on his hands, right? He started with his hill and the shit turned into a mountain, and now he's got to juggle that shit. You know how many people are probably coming to him with offers? You know how many people want to get a job at fucking Iron Gate Studios, which was what, like 2 guys? Ooh, the eye is on him. Everybody's paying attention to this game now. It would stress me the fuck out. I would immediately take a vacation.
Bye.
As soon as I'd sold that many copies, I would be like, all right, I got to walk away from this thing and come back in like 3 months. But you can't do that because everybody's watching you. Everybody's hitting you up on Twitter or fucking Instagram. And they hitting up your site and they want to know what's going on. And they hitting you up in forums and on Discord and blah, blah, blah. So you are now chained to that fucking project. I kind of feel bad for the dude. I mean, I don't feel bad for him because now you can buy that Lambo, right? You got that Lambo, but the eye is on you. But I feel bad for the amount of stress coming his way. I'm really curious. What's his name again? Yeah, Richard Svensson? Bro, I hope you got your head screwed on right. They say on their site that he's a vet. So he's probably been through this shit before. But I doubt he's had a success like this before. Success, boy. Success can be a cruel mistress. Double-edged sword in this mouth. There's also, since we're talking about success being a cruel mistress, success can take very different forms, y'all. My brother told me this piece of advice once, and I'll take this shit to my grave. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to where you started from. That shit, think about that shit. Shit, I almost spilled my water. Think about that shit. Fucking, hey, man. Take it easy around the studio equipment, bro. Think about that shit. If you compared yourself to where you started, it's a way more sane way to observe your idea of advancement, your idea of success. If you comparing yourself to what motherfuckers doing on Instagram with their perfect filter or whatever, this person wrote this article or was featured in this article, you don't know what the fuck happened behind the scenes. You don't know the reality of how that person got to that spot, right? They could be a fucking prick who stabbed everybody in the back and walked over everybody to get where they need to go. But comparing yourself to where you started from, that is key to like a sane person's idea of personal success. But anyway, here's an example of a success that came from outside. HoloLens, right? I don't know if you guys heard about this. HoloLens was like this AR, which is augmented reality. VR is virtual reality. Augmented reality is like basically shit superimposed over reality as a game or as an experience. Microsoft was working on this thing called HoloLens, which is basically goofy looking glasses that you put on that projects Tron-like graphics over the reality. It was in development for a long fucking time, really long time. Kind of behind closed doors, not really talked about occasionally here and there in a press release, but no one ever like really tried it. It was like vaporware almost. It was like, yeah, it's this thing, but no one's seen it. No one knows if it's good. Turns out, I read recently, Microsoft turned around. What does it say? How much money they make? Microsoft turned around and contracted the HoloLens to the Army, man, to the U.S. Army. A perfect fit for a military application. Superimpose your enemies into like training sessions. Superimpose targets onto quote unquote the enemy. Like Microsoft signed a contract with the US Army to make HoloLens part of their rollout for $21.9 billion fucking dollars for 10 years. Bro, that's a shitload of money. But it brings up a moral issue for me. Personally, I think that's fucked up whenever games are used as a way to promote war or a way to build up the military. I know, I'm fucking naive, right? If you have a cousin in the army or whatever, you're like, we gotta protect our boys, you know what I'm saying? So whatever technology is available, the army should be able to use it. I get that. But to me, it always feels kind of dirty that this thing that was meant to entertain and delight people is basically gonna get used to superimpose little red boxes over innocent Arab people. That bums me out. And I don't think you can change my mind about that. You could try though. Hit me up on fucking Greasy Says on Instagram or whatever, Facebook. And you could tell me what you think. That's fine. I'm always open to new perspectives. But I think that move is kind of a penile publisher move where you're taking a concept that might be too early for its time and you're taking something that could be considered a commercial failure or a huge step forward in research, and you sell it to somebody who's going to turn it into something fucked up, and it's not going to actually help anyone. It'll help Americans, maybe, and American interests, but what does that even mean when you talk military, right? It gets cloudy and fucked up real fast. So, yeah. I don't know. Just figured I'd bring it up. You might not know. I'm telling you. Greasy Says. You know what I mean? Greasy says this. Greasy says that. Greasy told you about the fucking army buying HoloLenses for $21.9 billion. I'll tell you what, whoever signed that deal, I hope you got a steak and a blowjob. Or some sushi and a you know, splash. I rub anybody else the wrong way? Let me know. If you agree with me or if you think I'm fucking a naive filthy immigrant. I don't fucking know. Greasy Says on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Hit me up on that social media. Hit me up on that social media.
Hey, yo, Greasy, aren't you forgetting something?
Oh, yeah. All right, so, you know, following my stats and my listeners on this show. Thank you, everybody, for listening, who's listening. Thank you, especially if you subscribed or you added me to auto-download on, like, Apple or wherever you listen to. I see people on Stitcher. I see people on, like, Soundcat, some other shit. Thank you for that. Yo, if you listening and you like my shit, subscribe to this shit so you get it auto-downloaded and it fills up my Wednesday. Come on. Anyway, who the fuck is listening to me in France? That's what I want to know. I saw Germany. I know who's in Berlin. What up, homie? All right. Who is listening to me in France? Who's in France? Hit me up. You could just DM me. You don't even have to put it on blast. Because thank you in France. Bonjour. No. What's the fucking word for thank you in French, you idiot? Je m'appelle Arthur. Comment ça va? Ça va bien. Bonsoir. Thank you. Fuck, d'accord. Merci. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I had to look that up. Guys, I might be losing it. Whoever's in France, bottom line, whoever's in France, merci from the bottom of my fucking heart. There have been other listeners who have written in and asked me questions, and I'll get to them. I'll tell you a couple of them right now. Like, a homie reached out and said, yo, you didn't talk about female producers on episode, what was it, 2? Where I like ragged on coders, called them plumbers and shit. And then I was like, male producers suck balls. But I said female producers are different. I never actually said why female producers are different. So this person thinks it's an important distinction, and I agree. So I will make time, and I'll probably dedicate like the opening of an episode to what I think about female producers. Hopefully I don't put my fucking foot in my mouth. Anything is possible. Oh, also, I got a request on some weed notes. Somebody wants me to do Blue Dream, and they said that it's the only strain that they've been able to like reliably hang with. I would love to do some fucking I would love to get some Blue Dream, Ryan, but I don't have access to Blue Dream. The only time I've had Blue Dream is when I'm on the West Coast, because the West Coast is awesome for herb. But they ain't got no fucking Blue Dream where I'm at. So, yo, if somebody helped Blue Dream hook me up, I would love to try some and then record me trying some so Ryan can hear it. Okay? And there's others, but I'll get to them, and I'll actually shout out the people who requested these particular things. But thank you for engaging, my friends. Greasy people. They out there, man. They out there. All right, folks. It's that time again. Time to wind down. It's time for a little...
Medicate and meditate.
This week we're gonna do another gratitude exercise. Join in if you will. Get your little fucking notepad or your phone out and write down what you're grateful for this week. 5 things that you're grateful for. It takes like fucking 5 seconds. Boom. So this week, I'm grateful for 1, my listeners. People out there listening, sending me feedback, sending me questions, talking shit, even bringing it up in conversation, talking about this show and that they enjoying it. I'm so grateful for the listeners out there. People paying attention. Thank you. Secondly, I'm grateful for my family. Yo, COVID has made me so grateful for my family. You know how many fucked up families there are out there who didn't survive COVID, dog? I'm grateful as fuck for my family. Jesus Christ. 3, I'm grateful for days off. Days off, they're the best. Going out, walking around, fucking being in the sunshine, hitting the beach, whatever. Days off are great. 4, yo, I'm grateful for my fucking solar panels. What? Just been live so far. I ain't got a bill yet, but I'm grateful because I'm watching the little graph do its thing. You know what I'm saying? And then 5, I'm grateful for music. Because without music, I'd be nothing, man. Without sound in this world, I'd be fucking nothing. I sometimes wonder if I'd rather be blind than deaf. It's a fucked up distinction. What would you, you have an opinion? Would you rather be blind or deaf? It's a real tough one because you can't see beautiful people and you can't see the beauty of the world. That sucks. That would kill me. But then you can't hear some fucking Dilla beats? You can't hear no Herbie Hancock? You can't hear the weather report. That shit will bum me out too. Both are suicidal situations. Oh wait, we talking about being grateful? No, I'm grateful. I'm grateful, 5th, for music and the ability to hear. The ability to hear. So what you grateful for, homie? Doesn't that feel better? Yeah, deep breath, everybody. Deep breath. We're gonna make it. All right, we're done. We're done. I want to encourage everybody out there who's listening to share this show with somebody. If you think that they might catch vibes off it, if you think they're gonna find the shit funny, if you think it'll infuriate them even better, send it to them. Just trying to grow numbers, just trying to get bigger and bigger. You know what I'm saying? So please, if you're a greasy person, let's make some more greasy people out there. Let's spread like the plague. Probably should be making jokes about pandemics and shit. Fuck it. Let's greasy people. Let's make a greasy pandemic. Greasy people. Thanks for coming out. Like, subscribe, comment, give me feedback. Tell me to go fuck myself. Until next time, it's me, Greasy. Checking out with the room key. Laters.